Buying a new car is one of the most important financial decisions a person can make. It is a symbol of status, a tool for mobility, and in many cases, a necessity. However, it also represents a significant expense and a potential short-term loss of value. In this video, we will analyze whether it is truly worth buying a new car, considering economic, functional, emotional, and social factors. Described as the worst financial decision, that's how David Bach sees the purchase of a brand new car at a dealership with zero mileage, practically fresh out of the factory and still carrying that scent of success and comfort. Nothing you do in life, realistically, will waste more money than buying a new car, said this millionaire and best-selling author during a brief talk with CNBC Make It. It's the worst financial decision a millennial can make, he stated. According to Bach, the main reason is the significant depreciation a vehicle undergoes as soon as it rolls off the production line, ready to bring joy to one or more people. Its value typically drops between 20% and 30% by the end of the first year, and after 5 years, it may have lost 60% or more of its original value. As if that weren't enough, he adds, most people borrow money to buy that car. Why would you borrow money to purchase an asset that immediately drops 30% in value, he asks. The best formula, according to this self-made man, entrepreneur, speaker, and financial motivator born in 1966, is to buy a used car. Buy a car coming off a 2 to 3 year lease, almost new, and guarantee yourself a 30% discount, he suggests. With low mileage and good maintenance, a vehicle that has been rented for 2 or 3 years is generally in very good condition. The advantage is that, simply by not being brand new, it's already offered to the public at a significant discount. According to Bach, car manufacturers know very well that people tend to budget based on monthly payments. But vehicles, he says, should be thought of in the long term. They want us to focus on monthly payments, and they will do everything possible to make sure we do. His recommendation is this: don't think about the monthly payments, think about the annual cost. Think about the total term of the loan. If you're spending $500 per month on that car, well, that's already $6,000 per year, not including insurance and gas, he insists. That could be 2 or 3 months of your income. Do the math and then ask yourself, do I really need such a fancy car, or could I buy a less expensive, maybe slightly older car that still looks good and works fine? However, many people still hesitate between buying a new or used vehicle, weighing the pros and cons of each option, considering aspects like mileage and available resources for maintaining a car. To address this dilemma, Jose Klopotovsky, director of Motor Magazine, recommends taking several factors into account to make the best decision. First, the expert notes that even though the US dollar has depreciated slightly against the Colombian peso, the prices of new cars are expected to remain at last year's average levels. After pointing out that market behavior is expected to be similar to that of the previous year, the Motor Magazine director also discussed financing, that is, whether it's really worth it to go into debt to purchase a new car. There's a difference between buying a car and buying money. When you finance, they're selling you the money you're missing. That's a completely separate issue from the car itself, Klopotovsky explained. Still, he said that if someone can afford the monthly payment for a new car, it's a personal decision, but buying a used car that's like new can allow for significant cost savings. Klopotovsky believes that a car with 10,000 or 15,000 kilometers, if it has been well maintained, cosmetically and mechanically, is a very good car. Buying a car tends to be one of the largest financial decisions, often involving a major resource outlay, so making a mistake in this process can lead to heavy losses. In fact, it is the second largest expense after housing. A car is a durable consumer good that loses about 10% of its initial value the moment it leaves the dealership. Moreover, new cars continue to lose around 10% to 15% of their value annually thereafter. Higher-end vehicles tend to depreciate at a slower rate, which makes depreciation the largest contributor to the total cost of car ownership. If such a durable consumer good is financed using consumer credit, which is among the most expensive, with interest rates of 6 to 8%, then we are essentially financing losses at a high cost. From the initial amount, More than 25% of the value disappears in the first year alone, and this doesn't even include taxes, insurance, or maintenance. Focusing solely on vehicle depreciation, after the sharp drop in the first year, the new car will continue to depreciate by 15% to 25% each year until it reaches the 5-year mark. After 5 years, that new car will have lost around 60% of its value. Let's break down the depreciation of a €25,000 car, the average new vehicle price in Spain, as follows. Leaving the dealership, €22,500. After year 1, €20,000. After year 2, €17,000. After year 3, €14,450. After year 4, €12,325. After year 5, €10,425. After 5 years, 46.33% of the vehicle's value remains, meaning over half has been lost to depreciation, about 54%. By the 5th year, people typically complete the loan payments for a new car. Let's assume a 25% down payment, €6,250, and the remaining €18,750 financed at an APR of 7.2%. Over 60 months, the total payment would be €22,276.35, with €3,526.35 paid in interest. This means that, over that 5-year period, €12,075 was lost to depreciation and €3,526.35 to financing, with a 25% down payment, totaling €15,601.35. Which represents a 62% loss compared to the €25,000 we initially had 5 years ago. As we can see, the first year is the most critical in terms of depreciation. One alternative is to buy a vehicle 1 year after registration, thus avoiding a 20% depreciation, €5,000 in this example. From that point on, it may make sense to go into debt, but only if the main purpose of that leverage is investment, where the income generated will ultimately cover the payments for the vehicle. This way, over the years, we ensure that the debt is associated with an investment rather than a cost, the invested capital is not eroded by vehicle depreciation, and we acquire a well-maintained car that we can periodically replace. Economic aspects. A. Vehicle depreciation. One of the main disadvantages of buying a new car is its rapid depreciation. It's estimated that a new car loses between 15% and 30% of its value in the first year, and up to 50% within the first 5 years. Financially, this means a new car is an asset that quickly loses value. B. Initial cost and financing. New cars usually come with a much higher price than used ones. Although there are attractive financing plans and lower interest rates for new vehicles, this also means long-term debt. Additionally, monthly payments, insurance, and administrative fees are typically higher. C. Maintenance costs. One financial benefit of new cars is that, being under warranty, initial maintenance costs are low. Many manufacturers offer free maintenance for the first few years, significantly reducing expenses during that time. Functional aspects. A. Technology and efficiency. New cars include the latest technologies in safety, comfort, connectivity, and fuel efficiency. From driver assistance systems to smartphone integration, a new car can provide a superior driving experience. B. Reliability. A new car has no usage or wear history, which translates to greater reliability. There's no need to worry about urgent maintenance, hidden issues, or worn parts. This brings peace of mind to the buyer. Emotional and social aspects. A. Personal satisfaction. For many people, owning a brand new car is an emotionally rewarding experience. The new car smell, the feeling of being the first owner, and the pride of showing it off have an important psychological impact. B. Social status. Having a new car can also project an image of success, financial stability, and good taste. This can be relevant in certain professional or social environments. Alternatives to buying a new car. A. Slightly used cars, nearly new. Buying a car that's 1 or 2 years old can be a great alternative. These vehicles have already gone through the steepest part of the depreciation curve but still retain many of the advantages of a new car. B. Leasing. Leasing allows you to use a new car for a set period without bearing the full cost of ownership. This can be an attractive option for those who want to switch vehicles frequently without worrying about resale. C. Alternative transportation. In cities with efficient public transportation or shared mobility services like Uber, car sharing, or e-bikes, owning a car may be unnecessary. In these cases, not owning a car can be more cost-effective and environmentally friendly. When is it worth buying a new car? When you plan to keep the car for many years, amortizing the initial investment. If you drive a lot, long trips, daily work use, etc. When you highly value technology, safety, and reliability. If you can afford the purchase without excessive debt. When the new model offers ecological advantages, hybrid or electric cars, compared to older alternatives. Buying a new car offers undeniable advantages in terms of technology, safety, reliability, and personal satisfaction. However, from a financial standpoint, it is often a less efficient decision due to rapid depreciation and high initial costs. That's why it's important to carefully assess personal needs, financial situation, and available alternatives before making a decision. In summary, buying a new car is worth it if you value the experience and peace of mind more than short-term financial savings. For those who prioritize financial efficiency, a nearly new car or alternative transportation methods may be the better options. And if you enjoyed this content, please subscribe and give this video a like. Remember, it's free, and it helps us continue creating quality content for you. See you soon.